radio station. You are tuned in to Jessica Lynn Speaks Life, and I am so excited to be at the table of purpose, passion, and power with these powerhouse women that you see. Snap, snap, snap. Yes. I am excited. Listen, it is an amazing day today. It is an amazing day. It's so warm and cool and not hot. Yesterday was super hot. I know we were out at the Swope Park for the back to school Operation Backpack, the 4th year. Shout out to Councilwoman Raina Park Shaw and Giving Hope and Help. This is our 4th year being the nonprofit sponsor with her, and it has been amazing to see it grow. And I know we were there as the National Congress of Black Women. Yes. So Sylvia, you were there, and you guys were there in spirit, proxy, by being a part of it all. And so yes, so many children and families came out. I know I think about 2 o'clock we had counted up to 550 cars. So at 2 o'clock, and then it was basically over about 2:15. So at 2 o'clock, there were over 550 cars. So shout out to all of the sponsors and companies and corporations and organizations and sororities and fraternities and nonprofits that partnered with this event to make sure that people had the necessities and the tools and things. So we're just talking about community. Just open it up talking about community, because that's what we're about. We're a community radio station. And we want to shine the light on what's happening in Kansas City. And speaking of that, there's some big things happening in Kansas City coming up this month.
Yes.
This month. Yes. So you're at the table of Purpose, Passion, and Power with Jessica Lynn, and I have some beautiful guests. They are powerhouses in their own right, and I am not going to introduce them. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to do some interviewing with them and let you learn who they are. They're all sitting here so shy, but let me tell you, once they open their mouth, okay? So yes, we are sitting here with 3 powerhouses from the National Congress of Black Women, and I'm excited to be a part of the organization as well, and thought it would be fitting to have them on the show to share about the organization, to share about themselves. And basically it's great timing because we are gearing up for the 6th annual Torch Carriers Conference, Breaking Boundaries in STEM, STEM, careers and those who belong in it. And shout out to our sponsor,
yes,
Burns and McDonald's, right?
Yes.
Burns and McDonald. Yes. So this is coming up. I'm going to start with you. We have Sylvia Stevenson here, and we have Celeste Cheney Tucker, and then we have Janae T. Swanson. And I'm going to let them share who they are. We're going to do a little background. We'll talk about who you are with the National Congress of Black Women, but I want to go deeper. So let's talk about who you are with the National Congress of Black Women and share what the National Congress of Black Women is.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, our beautiful listeners out there. I am Sylvia Stevenson. I am the founder and current president of the National Congress of Black Women, Kansas City chapter. And the organization is a 501c3 organization started by our beloved Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, first Black woman to run for president on the Democratic presidential ticket. So National Congress of Black Women, as I said, it was founded by Shirley Chisholm, and the organization is a 501c3 nonprofit group that's dedicated to the education, economic, political, and cultural enrichment of Black women and their families and the community. Because we know that more than just Black women and our families need support and help in our community. And so we, as a nonprofit, we're volunteer oriented. Our members, they pay, we're a professional organization. The membership is an amount that women pay, and we also offer those membership to Missouri and Kansas. So we're not just serving on the Missouri side, we serve on the Kansas side because, again, we have communities hurting and women in need of leadership development skills and just having that support and backing of other Black women, some who may not look like them, but a lot of our members are women that are shadowed by young women or adult women who want want to be where we are or somewhere professional or have career goals that they want to get to. And so the organization, we host, we're 501c3, and so we're a non-charitable organization, and we host events in the community, educational events that help enhance the quality of life of the community. That's anywhere from workshops regarding personal development, career and resume development. We also host, like the event that you mentioned earlier, our annual Women and Girls Torch Carriers Conference, creating a platform for young girls and women together in the same conference to learn, prosper, and grow professionally and get the support they need to help them develop some type of idea of where they want to be, and just kind of be there and listen to those community leaders and those corporations and businesses and entrepreneurs, those folks who come and sponsor their time to talk to women and girls in the community.
You know, I think it's so important. You said they can see women that they want to be like.
Absolutely.
In the National Congress of Black Women. And that is so key because we are always talking about mentoring and role models. And really, you know, we said this before the show started. I am truly excited to be sitting at this table with you all powerhouses. And Sylvia said, well, you're one too. And I said, well, birds of a feather. See, that birds of a feather thing is really, really real, right?
Yes. Right.
And so I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about you all. And so that little girl or that young woman, that mother of three, that single mother, that married mother that comes to the Torch Carriers Conference, I want to be like Celeste. It's not an organization where you have to check all the boxes to be a member of.
Yes.
That's what I like
Amen.
about it. It's available. You had shared something on your post. I saw it. I'm excited. You can be too.
I feel empowered.
Yeah.
So can you,
It's good.
totally. I often express that. You mentioned earlier, like for me, I'm one of those women that were in the community, right? I'm married. You just said married women. And for me, it's leading by example, not just for others, but first for my home, for my kids, right? And I'm all about the tangible things, and this is one way that I can actually do it and see the effect, right? And so I just love it for that reason.
Well, I think it's awesome that you bring your daughter along.
Absolutely.
You know, when I attended I forget what it was called, but I attended a breakfast brunch.
The membership.
Our membership appreciation
Membership
breakfast.
appreciation brunch, and you had your daughter, and she's following you. I mean, I'm watching it like as an outsider, not knowing you, and seeing her follow you, and it's so true that our children and our girls mimic what they see. What are you showing to these girls in the community, whether you know them or not? How are you showing up? They're watching you and they're mimicking you, just like
Absolutely.
they mimic the Beyonce and you know, Rihanna.
Everything else.
Everything else.
Yes.
They're mimicking the ones in their home, and so
Yes.
shout out to NCBW. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes. So you've heard from Sylvia.
Yes.
You heard a little bit from Janae. Let's hear a little bit from Miss Celeste.
Oh, what would you like to know?
Well, you know what? I want to dig a little deeper. Tell us who you are, and then I'll start asking questions with you.
Okay, well, my name is Celeste Cheney Tucker. As you already said, I am Vice President of NCBW. I guess I would say that I am one of them young girls that probably came in and thought I had to check all the boxes before I did something, right? But I put myself in a circle of women that uplifted, that comes from my family background and other women that I associate with. And it's basically, you don't let what you've been through define you. You know, you rise above it. And so I will tell you that a lot of people don't know this about me, but at 16, I was a mom. You know, my daughter passed at 2 weeks before her second birthday. So at 18, found myself, you know, just on a different type of journey, you know, working, going to school, trying to figure out, you know, my life path and, you know, what that meant for me. You know, the dream was to be a nurse, own my own funeral home and things like that. But, you know, life kind of gets in the way and puts you on a different path. And then I have what you would say my sanity baby, Joshua. He's 28 now. He's not a baby anymore. But that kind of like put me in a situation where, you know, you have this child and you have this individual that you're responsible for, and you have to do everything that you can to make sure that that individual is okay and that will be, more than what the odds say that we can. So shout out to my son. He's 28, has a master's degree and a bachelor's degree, and he's married and doing well. So, but
Amen.
statistics say
Okay.
that as a single mom, we weren't going to make it. But yeah, we here.
Oh, that's
You're
right.
here. And thank you for sharing
Yeah.
the story. Sorry for your loss. That was yet your baby.
That
Right?
is still my baby.
Still your
Yeah.
baby. And sorry for your loss. And thank you for rising.
Yes. And I still say I got somebody up there waiting on me.
I
sitting
know
at the
that's right.
table.
Yes, right. You right.
Yes.
part.
Thank you for your fight and to not be a statistic,
Yep.
Yes.
because the statistics of girls, teenage pregnant girls, there's a statistic for that. But I really want to know what the statistic is of the teenage mom that turned out like yourself.
Yep.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Right? They don't talk about that.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't talk about. And thank you for sharing that. That's the importance. Please don't stop sharing that. You're a teenage mom, because I would have never imagined that.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like nobody, and
I
everybody look
did
at me
not
and they say
know.
they
I
do
did
not
not
know.
know.
And it's like you really have to know me to do that. But like you said, we're here for purpose and power. And sometimes I feel like when I don't share my story, I have young girls who are in that situation feel like their life is over and they don't have anything
Yes.
to live for,
But
and they
it's
don't
not.
have anybody backing them. But baby,
Right.
you here, keep going and be
You can
there.
do it. You can
know?
make it.
And that's what
Take
we
a folding chair
Yeah.
wherever you go.
look at voting chair.
Yes.
Yes.
Bring the whole
Yes.
table, baby.
That part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and you don't want to be on the menu.
Hello.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you for sharing that. This comes to mind. True transparency will always breed freedom.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
And so every time that you share your story, you will learn that you're not alone. And you will be a little bit more freer. That's the way it is for me anyway.
Yeah.
And so I would encourage you, if you're tuned in, this is already some good stuff. See? Yeah. You were gonna say something. I hope you didn't lose your train of thought. But if you get it back, just jump right in.
I was just saying that National Congress of Black Women is about role modeling, and this is not a cliche. This is real talk. When we say empowered,
Tangible.
when we say empowered women, empower women, that's what we do.
Yes.
So it's not just me as being part of leadership, but it's all the women, even the sisters who join who aren't quite in leadership, but they're a general member. They have a seat at the table. They are, as Celeste has said, they're not on the menu, but we create the menu together.
Come on.
We create a table together. And so and what I love about National Congress of Black Women Kansas City chapter is that we have sisters who join and say, I'm looking for an organization that would allow me to kind of share some of my ideas for solutions of some of the problems that I see with raising my baby, with what I see in the community. And that is what National Congress is about. We are flexible in our strategy and steady in our purpose.
That
Ooh, I
part.
like that.
yeah.
Flexible in your
Absolutely.
strategy. And I like the
Absolutely.
flexibility, because when you talk about, this is one of my favorite phrases when I get with women like us, shades of beauty. Like we're all three different shades, we're three different sizes, we're three different shapes. That's what flexibility is
Yes,
to
it
me.
is.
Absolutely.
You don't all have to be long-legged and a certain way.
Cutter board. Yeah. No.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah.
We all do march to the beat
all
of the same
different,
drum.
and that's okay.
And that's what I love about it. It embracing each other's differences and embracing
Yes.
each other's talents and gifts. And you have a gift of
Absolutely.
organization. I learned that from the very first meeting. And, you're the first one to send in your picture, and you're the first, I'm like, yep, that's the first one. I'm not surprised. And that's so good. That's a gift,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Right? And Sylvia's kind of like me. We're like, we got a lot of things going on. We're going to get it done, but we got a lot going on.
Yes. Amen. Yes.
And Celeste is cool, calm, and collected, So everybody put it all together, and we got a lot of power. There's a lot of
Yes.
power at this
Absolutely.
table.
Yeah.
Mr. Walker,
Absolutely.
you're not burning up over there, because it's getting hot over here. So I just kind of want to dig a little bit deeper. I always ask my guests, because we're at the table of purpose, passion, and power, what is your passion? I always say your passion has a direct correlation to your purpose, And when you put them together, it equals power. Power to change the world, power to make a difference, power to change lives and to make an impact, a positive impact. And I always say, you say don't let your, Celeste, you said don't let what you've been through define you. I always say, for whatever you've suffered, for whatever you've survived, for whatever you are currently suffering, there is a purpose.
Yes. Yes.
There is a purpose. And so I kind of want to turn the conversation into talking about our purpose and our passion that equals our power. What makes us want to empower these girls at this Torch Carriers Conference? We could all be doing other things with our planning
absolutely.
time, right?
Absolutely.
What makes us want to show up at the end of this month, August the 26th, by the way, and you can
Yes.
go to
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. Keep telling me.
Eventbrite, and look up under National Congress of Black Women or 6th Annual Torch Carriers Conference, and it'll populate.
It'll populate, and you can get there. And Giving Hope and Help is going to sponsor 10 women. So if you would like to be one of those women, email
info at ncbwkansascity.org. So that's info at ncbw Kansas City, one whole word, kansascity.org, or you can just go to our website and send an email through the website that you want to be one of those women to receive a sponsored ticket to the Women and Girls Torch Carriers Conference.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. And I'm going to challenge other women in the community to sponsor women
Yes.
to attend. The girls are free, so there is no charge for the girls. And I have had the privilege and honor to attend the conference before. Was that last year or year before last?
You've participated in 2 of these.
I participated in 2
You've been a
of them.
moderator, and you've been a
That's right.
Session
a
facilitator.
session facilitator.
Yes, and
Yes,
so
you have.
I've had an opportunity, and let me tell you, it was everything. And
Phenomenal.
the saddest thing that I felt was not every single girl in Kansas City was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we need to,
It's
Burns and
definitely
McDonald needs to be like, oh, we need to give them a bigger space.
Yeah.
They are our
Totally.
sponsor, Burns and McDonald. We need to fill this place with girls
Yes.
ages.
Ages 10 through 17 for the girls, and then once you're 18, you're a grown woman. So you 18 and up are the adult women, and there is a small fee. And that fee is to allow us to keep it free for girls in the out years. When we have this again and continue to have it, we don't want girls to pay, but our women, you know, we can cough up a few change that you can spare for this conference fee, and then bring that girl with you. Or your
And if
or
not,
your-
we got
yeah.
the sponsors.
We got sponsors, yes.
So
Yes, and so no
please
one will be
come.
turned away.
No one.
That is
no.
correct.
That is
Period.
correct.
No.
No
Okay.
one's turned away.
So don't worry about that. It is a small nominal fee, and we're taking care of 10. And if we need to fill up the room, and Sylvia calls me and say, Jessica, we got 40 more women, we got it. Okay.
All right.
So we got it taken care of. We do
Yes,
not
please
want
come
people to. Don't let this be an excuse that you can't afford to come. So we want you to come. We want you to be empowered. We want you to be impacted. These events like this is what catapulted me as a young girl. Going to these types of things and seeing women on the platform, saying, "Oh, I want to make a difference." There was always something in my gut where I knew I wanted to make a difference. I really didn't know how and what it was, but it was actually derived from all of the things that happened to me,
Yeah,
all of my stories, right? All of the things that I overcame and
Absolutely.
survived. So for every arm of outreach that I work with in our nonprofit, there's a story. And so that's why I say, for everything you suffered and survived, there's a story. You may be tuned in right now. You may be tuned in right now. You may be depressed. You may be grieving of loss. You may be going through a divorce. You may be going through a breakup. You may be suicidal. You may be happy. For wherever you are right now, embrace that moment. Get you a pencil and a notepad, and just start writing. Just start writing what it is that you want to change in your life. What is it that you want to do? So those are some of the ways that I kind of overcame. But I'm going to start with you, Celeste. Talk to us a little bit about your purpose and your passion, and equated together equals your power. The powerhouse that you are now, and talk a little about what you're doing now that makes you the powerhouse that you are.
Well, I would say, as far as what I do, I think service is my purpose. I always find myself in a situation where I'm helping, I'm giving back to the community, whether it be my family, friends, or the organizations that I participate in. So I really think that service is my purpose. Again, the journey, the things that I've been through have kind of defined some of those things. But just probably not going through some things. I think when I went through marriage and my husband's passing, like he had cancer, and so that kind of like defined pretty much let me know who I was. It wasn't like the best situation as far as it wasn't the best marriage, I would just say that. But when you can find yourself taking care of someone who didn't treat you well, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that really let me know who I was as a person and didn't take away from who I was, because it was some moments where I was just like, oh no, this is not gonna work for me. And then I was like, you know what, you never let somebody else define who you are, and you never let somebody take that away from you. So just doing that, and then like at the end of his journey, you know, it was like, I'm sorry. But I was like, you know what, I forgave you a long time ago. Because if I wouldn't have forgave you, I wouldn't have been able to help you. And, you know, when they talked about that, there was that prayer warriors in that room, I found my room, and it was the bathroom. And I always used to just pray in my bathroom, and I used to journal and write and stuff, because I was just like, this can't be my life, you know. And, you know, in that room, it was like the voice was like the same voice that said, you know, take care of him. It was the same voice was like, it'll be over soon.
Wow.
And that was it. And so I knew it was coming, just didn't know how fast, and it did. And when I woke up, like the day of his passing, you know, my family wanted to stay over, and I'm like, no, you can't stay here. Like, I need, you know, that time. And they were like, we don't want to leave you alone. And I'm like, I'm not used to having all these people in my house. Y'all have to leave. You know? So when they left, that was like the best sleep, because for 2.5 years, all I did was doctor's appointments, get up, take care of somebody, run. But when I woke up the next day, I probably felt like 30 pounds lighter, lost a lot. Like, I was like, okay, I'm rested. And people were like, well, no, I cried. You know, when we got the diagnosis, I cried, and I had to cry silently all the time, you know, because you have to be strong for somebody else.
Sure.
And so I was like, I don't have any more tears. So now, you know, what am I going to do? That little beans out there?
I love it.
I do that for
And
myself.
she look good. Okay. Good for you.
I do that for myself.
for
And
you.
then
That's
I
right.
went down and got an apartment downtown. My son was like, Mom, I'm so happy you're doing something for yourself. Because, like I said, I was a mom at like 16. I was taking care of somebody. There was not a time when I wasn't married or being a mom taking care of someone. So now I got to finally do something, you know, for myself and stuff. But it feels good to serve the community and serve people. And without that, I wouldn't know what else to do. So,
Wow.
that's it.
So your service gives you power
Yes.
to inspire others as well as yourself.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I love your story.
Yeah.
Please never stop sharing it.
I won't. And I think the hospital advocacy with Safe Home, that was a big deal for me. And, you know, you basically, in those situations, you can't give advice. All you can do is provide resources. And that gave me a whole different outlook, on things. You know, it's women that need us, or young girls, you know, that need us. And so whenever I see a young woman or a girl that needs some help, I always lend that hand, because it only takes one person, right? You just take that one person along with you, and they pull somebody else up, and then pretty soon it's a lot of us at the table. Yep. And so I think that's the whole purpose, is for us to be able to pull each other up and pull somebody else along the way.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody needs a Celeste in their life.
Okay.
I'm happy to have her in my
She's in mine. She's in mine. Right? Engineer, both in mine. I have them both.
Yes, I'm
That's
happy to have
good.
them
That's
both.
good. That's good. That's good. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for allowing
Thank you
me
for sharing
to.
that. All right, Miss Sylvia, what is your purpose and your passion? And you can talk a little bit about your upbringing. Just tell us, get
Sure.
beneath the surface.
right, my purpose. Well, I'm a servant of God, so I love to serve since my childhood. In church growing up, uh, my mom always taught me to, respect your elders, help those who can't do for themselves, support seniors, always hold the door for a senior, someone who just can't do for themselves. And as a youth, I wanted to give back, and so I hand sewed pillows for the elderly neighbors in the community. And just knocking on doors, saying, "Hey, would you like a pillow?"
Wow.
And or walk around and take orders. Go to my neighbors who were all seniors and say, "I'm making pillows. Would you like?" And when I did that, I started to receive donations, and I was like, "No, don't give me money, because my mama's gonna whoop me when I get home, because she said this is a service project, not collecting money, not making it rain." And I was like, "I can't have that." And she was like, "Well, I'll write a note. I'll go tell your mother that you didn't ask for money." And I was like, "Really? Oh, thank you." Because that's what our parents, at least my mom taught me growing up. And so it started there through service, attending church regularly. And I was devastated with the challenge. I faced a devastating challenge when I was 14. I lost my dad to cancer. So as 14 in high school, my father, he was actually diagnosed with lung cancer 2 years prior, but he suffered through cancer for 2 years, and then 14, that's when he went to the kingdom, and so that was tough for me. But I think, then I was left with that one parent, and my mother was so strong. She was strong, and I read somewhere, and it was a interview. Someone was a beautiful black woman was giving an interview. I forgot where I was watching this, but someone asked her, "Where do you get your strength from? Where do you get your the power? How did you become the woman that you are?" And she honored her mom. She was like, and I feel like, and she said, "It's so important that I know it's important to have two parents." But it's like you gotta have that mother. You gotta have that mother. You gotta have the father too, but you gotta have that mother. And we learn from the challenges, watching our mother
Definitely.
deal with whatever she needs to deal with. And there's a whole nother side part of my history, and we don't have enough time on this show for me to talk about it. But I would tell you, when you hear about young girl, when you hear people say, "My mother," I don't fault my mother, because she made the decision. She did what she could. And we weren't even. I wasn't even born then. But when I was born and when I became older, and I said, "Well, why don't I have my dad's last name? Why is my dad's deceased, and why isn't he helping to pay for my tuition for school? Why am I not receiving disability?" And there was a story behind why she did the things that she did. And I get emotional telling this story, but the point I'm making is that our mothers give us the strength, because as we get older,
Even though we don't know
we
it sometimes.
didn't know that we expect. I won't say we expect, but we don't know until we get to become women. We get that.
Ourselves.
We get that story. Our mothers sit us down and say, "Well,
This
let
is
me
what
tell you
happened."
what happened."
Yeah.
You don't get that as a child. You
No.
just said, I didn't have my dad. Weren't getting any financial resources from the death of my dad, and the passing of my dad. No insurance, no anything. And I said, "Well, this is not fair. We're getting a raw deal here." Even at a young age, I knew I was 14. I was 14. I was been telling people about my college. My dad used to always talk about me going to college. My dad used to tell his friends about, "Oh, she's going to school to be a lawyer. She's going to school. She's going to make a difference. She's going to government." And when I lost my dad, I said, "I'm still going to do what I told him I was going to do, what he wanted me to do." And I went through school, went to college, and talking to my mom in my late 20s about what happened and why I didn't get funding, she says, "Things happen." And now that I'm older, and this is what really, really brought me down to, this what really touched my heart too, is that I've done things in my life as an adult that my mother did when she was a child. And so when she says to me, "I did the best I could do. It was either out of my control. I'm sorry that I hurt you. But if I didn't have dated your father, you wouldn't have been born." you wouldn't be running National Congress of Black Women. You wouldn't be providing leadership to women who are now members of of the organization.
Yeah.
You would not be touching the lives of young girls, babies, ages 5 and up, who are volunteering with National Congress of Black Women. You wouldn't have you wouldn't be able to help young girls and women identify the potential that they have. Help, and I'm telling you, I can't tell you what to do and what to go to school for, but I can help you identify your potential and your power and your purpose, and that's just the God in me, the spirit in me, and so and I give honor to my mother. She's still alive, but she's one of the founders of she founded National Congress of Black Women with me, and so did 8 other women. But my mother was the anchor. When we couldn't get volunteers, we had to raise money. We were at the Royal Stadium, the Chief Stadium, the Rock Fest, raising money so we can continue to still be in existence. It did become my baby. The inception of the organization became my baby, and I talked a little bit about my purpose. But my passion is to see women grow beyond their potential. My passion is when women join, and I tell them this, my spiel, and Janae and both Celeste have heard this. I got my passion. You need to find yours for the organization, because everyone's passion is not like mine, and I don't want it to be. And so, but I say, whatever we ask our women who want to join, we say, why do you want to join? And the thing they say, and these are women who are, if you want to use the word, self-actualized, or who already have their family. They may live, they grew up in the community, but they're in Overland Park, they're in Johnson County, or they're in Lee Summit, and they want to give back. They want to have provide opportunities for growth and support. Bring a young lady to school with them, to work with them one day. These are women who join because they want to get back to the community, because they don't find a way they can do it now. There's a lot of organizations out there now that are creating opportunities for adult women, but the rest of the membership is also college women. College women. When I was in college, there was nothing like there was National Congress of Black Women, because it'd been around since 1983.
Right.
So that's how I learned about National Congress of Black Women at UMKC as a political science student. I said, I want to be a part of an organization that looks like me. I want to be a part of an organization that had black women in leadership that look like me. And then I saw Shirley Chisholm. I saw Dr. Ife Williams. And I saw that Dr. King, Coretta Scott King, was a co-founder. I didn't even know that until I discovered that. And I was like, oh my God, I need to be in this organization. Now, there was a lot of senior women who were seasoned. So the issue they had is that how do they connect with young black women or young women of color who want to be a part of this, or any age, And so that's kind of what NCBW here, National Congress of Black Women, does in Kansas City. No matter who you are, no matter your age, no matter what you look like, there is something for you. Come on. But we're not there yet, all the way there yet, because we want women to help us continue to create rewards for other members.
Absolutely.
And we want, bring your identity, bring your ideas, bring your creativity, because we don't know it all. And that's why the membership combines of women of all walks of life. We have women we had a lady who was homeless, and she says, I want to become a member. And I don't know if it was, Janae, you might remember this. This was a few years ago, and she joined, and she says, "Oh, I can't pay my dues." And but it's a business too. We're a business, but we will tell members, tell women who are interested, your heart. I mean, we know where your heart is. We know you want to give, but she's been giving. She'd been given so much that she divorced her. She was in a divorce. Then she became homeless. She has a son in college, but she was going from house to house. She was homeless, but she wanted to become a member. And I'm not going to say this woman's name. She lives here in Kansas City. But I told her, I said, but we're running a business. So we're cultural, we're professional, we're personal. And with sisters, we'll have your back. But we have to run our business. And so my point of bringing this up is that part of my passion is helping create opportunities of all women, create those opportunities, and for girls, but also help them understand that we're a business, and we have to have order.
There we go.
God orders our steps. We have to, and we would not be here for 10 years if we didn't have order and if we wasn't a business. And so that is, sharing about sustaining businesses. They can, once you become a member, or if you volunteer with us, you'll see how we conduct ourselves, the practices and policy and procedures that we create, so that when I walk away, the organization keeps running. I feel so confident. Yeah, I feel so confident. That if I was to move today, or if I couldn't be president, somebody has the organization back, and these 2 women who are here, Janae is the one. They got my back. So it's and there's some other women too. So and it's a blessing, because that speaks to sustainability and our foundation, and so and that's what makes me continue to have this power, because I'm working with powerhouses here at this table, knowing that someone has my back. Yes, I'm an influencer, but so are they. When you become a member of MCBW, whether you like it or not, you will become an influencer. You will positively impact the community and other communities around the world. Our platform has grown significantly in the past 3 to 4 years. And now we're having discussions at our retreat that's going to come up in September, is about what do we need to do to continue to keep our sustain the organization, but also what practices do we now need to put into place, business practices, to where we can grow. We're now a part of the United Way and Kaufman platform. You know what that means? That means we got to spend a little bit more money than $500 and $1,000. So now we have to truly invest, because God has opened that door for us. And so so that power is using the foundation, the women that that are now a part of the NCBW family, and just to continue this to teach one, reach one, bring more women in, and so that we can continue to create that sisterhood. So let's talk a little bit about the sisterhood journey. That's what we call it. It's a sisterhood journey. So regardless of your age, regardless of where you've been, we want to be able to continue to connect and support women, whether it's professionally, culturally, or personally. And I told you I was going to take up a lot of your time. I said that.
You good. I want my $10.
She want her $10 back. She want her money back. But I get so passionate. It's so passionate. So everybody with a passion not going to talk here for like 20 minutes like I did. So everybody, you have your own passion. But what keeps me going, even though I get exhausted, is I think about the women, our members, and our youth members too. We have about 7 or 8 youth members killing it. One of them, she's been our youth member for almost 3 years. She's about to start her 2nd year at UMKC. Awesome. She's still active. She's still engaging. Phenomenal. She just came back from Africa.
She helped plan the conference.
And she's one of the
she's on the committee.
She's on the committee for planning. This is her she's been with us probably about 3 years now.
Exactly who you're talking about.
And her name is Chinechirum and Nacho. Chinechirum Nacho. She is amazing. And so I keep doing what I do because I know there's women that are going to continue to grow NCBW. They got my back. I got their back. We got youth members who are doing they're talking about NCBW, and they're in ProX interns and with Big Brothers and Big Sisters on the radio through other youth platforms. And so I'm just, my passion continues to just keep us going. So there's an opportunity for membership for women and girls when we're gone. So to establish that legacy.
Absolutely.
Continue the legacy
So
that
we're
Shirley
carrying the
Chisholm's.
torches.
We're carrying the torches.
Yes.
The torches to continue to be carried.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so if you have a daughter
Yes.
that is age
13 through 17.
Or
13
niece, or a
through
cousin.
7, or cousin, or niece, or
Yes.
neighbor,
Yes.
and you don't like what you see, maybe she needs to get in a different environment.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Maybe you can be an influencer and reach out to ncbw.org, and check us out, because we are making a difference. Janae,
Yes.
passion, purpose, power.
I love that.
And you
3
can share
Ps.
anything you want
Okay.
about yourself and your upbringing, or I know Celeste and both of you share moving stories. Wow,
Right.
Again, it's about what you've suffered and survived.
Right, and
Purpose.
I would have to go after these powerhouses. But like Sylvia said, I definitely don't want to waste all your time. I could write books and books about my upbringing, but I'll
We have
share
a few
this.
minutes.
Try to minimize it as possible. So my passion, I think, stemmed from my upbringing. It wasn't always in church, although I do love God with all my being. And I try and do all things by leading by example, right? I think I can't speak for myself, but come from that era where it's like, don't do what I do, but do what I say. And so for me, be the change, right?
You want to
That
see.
you want to see.
Yes.
And,
right.
and from the best way for me to do that was to lead by example, which is how it's not crazy, but my story of NCBWs, because like I feel like forever, right? Because it's never ending, it's just reoccurring. But all the silver unjust and things that we experience that's been going on, I'm like, I want to help, Lord. I want to help my people. How can I do that, right? But I'm a planner. I'm a doer. And so what can I do that's actually I can see the change or the effect or whatever the case may be. And so I got wind of NTBW through Celeste, my best friend, and she was trying to get her to join. But she's like, no, this sound like you. And so I sat in on the session, and I was like, I want in. And I've been in, all in ever since.
Yes.
Ever since, right? Who knew that I would be one of those women they were both mentioning, right? That they have taken me under their wing, right? They have their MPA, and I'm about to have mine, right? So who knew? Who knew? And here I am, and just loving it. And I want to say, and I can't do nothing but say thank you, Sylvia, for believing in me like that, to be like, if I leave, she got it, right?
Yeah.
That's power.
Well, iron sharpens iron.
Hello.
Amen.
Hello.
And so thank you all for
Yes.
being each other's iron and my iron, because
Yes.
when you connect, it's kind of like you know how when you put the magnet together, they automatically,
Yes.
you have to pull them apart.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
when they get close enough, they become one.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And so
Love
iron
it.
sharpens iron.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I always tell my girls and my powerhouses, thank you for being one of mine.
Yes.
Because you don't have to be in inner circle to be an iron.
No.
Right.
Be an iron.
Yes. Just being you.
That's for y'all, not for them, because they already are.
Yes.
right.
But be an iron.
So
But go
my
ahead.
so my passion is just being that changer, that example, right? There's a saying that if you want to see change, be the change. So that's that, and I do that from so many different perspectives, as a mom, as a wife, as a woman, right? As a sister. Like they said, it's a sisterhood journey, and that has really been my journey. And you mentioned my daughter. I do bring her along with me everywhere usually. And it's so crazy though, because at first it's kind of like I'm making her, but now she just like, if I'm going somewhere, she's like, and I can't go, right? So she's loving it, she's embracing it. And then to see that it's like confirmation sometimes. Like she got her first job, she's 16. And the manager was like, after she worked her first day and he had met me, he was like, y'all are doing a good job. I was
Praise
like,
God.
her parents, whoever this little girl parents is, got some sense. You know what I mean? So for me, that was confirmation that I am
Yes.
leading by example. I am being that change, right? Breaking those cycles a lot of times that aren't always good in our culture, right? Or for me, like my upbringing wasn't the best, right? And I wanted to be different for mine, okay? And so a little bit about mine. So I didn't grow up in a two-parent home. I did grow up with a single mom. My father was murdered when I was 5, but I never knew him before that anyway, right? And so just all of that, and then my mom raised 9 kids, but only 5 was biological, okay? And then from 7th grade, I ended up raising myself. And so just all of that, and just using that, I feel in the same sense that Sylvia mentioned, I even with all that, I get my strength from my mama.
Yes.
She
Say that.
is so strong to be a female. You know, a lot of times females aren't really associated in a positive light when they're powerful like that, when they're strong, right? But she is so strong in so many ways. And as an adult woman, I can see that, like, I get it from her. I know I do.
Apple
know?
don't fall far.
Whether we like it or not sometimes. But you're definitely right. It does. So that's a little bit of, of my childhood. And so my passion into my purpose. Purpose is just to love, right? God is love. And a lot of people
Yes,
don't
he
know
is.
that. A lot of people don't know what love is because they don't know God. And so I do, and that's one of the things I love about NCBW. No, we're not a spiritual organization, but we do not shy away from it,
Sure.
right? As Sylvia stated, she definitely love it, and I love that. I've actually, before NCBW, I ran into an organization that spirituality was in the name, but it wasn't nowhere in the.
Come on.
Say that.
You understand me?
Wow.
Exactly.
And in the action.
Exactly. Exactly. And actions speak louder than words. Love is an action. It is not a feeling.
That's good.
Right?
That's
and
good.
so that is my purpose. I feel, right? Whether it's showing true love to my kids, like I said, as a woman in any table or room that I'm in. Right? And then so I live in Lee Summit. I've been blessed. Thank you, Lord, right? Because
Amen.
not all can or even want to for that matter. But it has not been easy because I've definitely experienced racism up closer than I've ever have in all of my 30-some years of living.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so from that perspective, brings me back to the conversation I have with God, like, how can I help my people? Right? Because there's so many people who are in leadership, that are in power, so to speak, who do not care about somebody who looks like me, right? And so you want change, be that change. So my goal is to get in local government, right? And being in NCBW is teaching me the things I need, that good foundation. So, and that's the point of me bringing that up. My purpose leads me to love and a good foundation. You have to have a good foundation. And so that's the foundation I hope to pass on. My torch would be that, so to speak.
Ooh,
Woo-hoo.
I told y'all.
I just love that we all come from very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And just looking around this room, people can't tell what you've been through.
Oh,
We don't
no.
look like none
Thank
of
you,
what
Lord.
we've been through.
Absolutely not.
But that's the power of the black
Thank
woman.
God.
That is
Yes.
the power of the black woman. We
Yeah.
always got a face, and we transform in any situation. So
Absolutely.
And for the listeners, for you that may not understand, when she says that's the power of the black woman, we say that's the power of the black women because that's what we are. And oftentimes we've been left out of the story.
Yeah.
I can remember as early as 4 years old, I used to watch Young and the Restless with my grandmother and my mother and drink coffee. I do not like coffee to this day. Don't like it. Love the smell of it, but don't like it. But I used to watch Young and the Restless, and I can remember at 4 years old, and actually I watched it all through high school and college, and I would call my grandmother and ask her what happened when I missed it sometimes. That was our little thing, and some of my cousins may not even know that. But Grandma knew what was happening on Young and the Restless. But at 4 years old, I remember watching it and saying to myself at 4, now I have a very good memory. And so for those of you that know me know that I'm telling the truth.
I don't know what.
I remember looking at the TV saying, I don't see anyone that looks like me. And I wanted to be like Nikki as an actor. I knew it wasn't her. I was smart enough at 4 years old to know that she was acting. I knew that it wasn't her, but I wanted to be like Nikki and Erica Campbell from All My Children at 4. But the dream was crushed because I never saw anybody that looked like me. Now, when she came on, The Dimples, beautiful girl, All My Children. Oh, what's her name? Her name is escaping me. I think it's Debbie Morgan.
Debbie Allen.
No,
No.
she's the
All
beautiful.
my children, long black hair.
No, Debbie Morgan.
Okay.
She was on All My Children. Her and Jesse had an amazing love
Yes,
affair.
that was her.
And
yes.
I said, well, maybe I could be that. But I was like, but there's none of them on Young and the Restless or any of the other ones, so maybe she's just different. I could not. I mean, that was my thing, like, for a long time. So for those of you who say, well, it's not just black women that are powerful, or that's not just the power of the black woman, she's saying that's the power of the black woman. And I can say this and speak for all of us because
Mm-hmm.
we understand
Yeah.
Yeah.
that we're all powerful.
Definitely.
White women, brown women, and black women. And
Definitely.
and as the founder of Black, Brown, and White Unite for Change, I stand for all people. But when she speaks, that's the power of the black woman. It's because we've always been left out of the story.
Yeah.
Literally.
Always.
Always.
Hence to my story about the stories. That's what we used to call them, the soap operas.
Yeah.
We call them
The
the
stories.
stories.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
it
We've
is. Become the
always been
stories.
left out of the story. And so it is the power of the black woman. It's the power of the woman. I always say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but we going to be all right if he
We
don't.
gonna be all right. All right.
And-
Hello, world.
My
Come
mama
on.
said that day one. She was like, when you decide you're going to be a mom, just remember that is mama's baby, daddy's maybe. And so no matter what, you do what you got to do for your baby.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
take care of our babies and
absolutely.
we take care of each other. I got chills because we have a story
Yeah.
that is linked.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jessica Lynn Speaks Life is inclusive. Hello. We are inclusive. But it is the power of the black women for us because we're black. So I have to break that down. It's just like the all
Yeah.
lives matter, black lives matter.
Totally.
Black lives matter because we've always never mattered. All right.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're just trying to break it down to those that may
Totally.
not understand. And if it's not your story, you may not ever understand, and that's okay. But it is power.
But for those who like are listening, right? Other women, because it just made me think of like we all have power, right?
Right.
And though you may not have the best upbringing or background or even support for that matter, but no, you have power. Just tap into it, like she said. Find somebody, connect with someone who can help you enlighten that power or
You
bring
need an
that power
iron.
to the forefront.
Find an iron.
Exactly. There you go.
The woman that you see that you're like, ooh, she is amazing. I want to be like her. That's the woman that you need to reach out to because she's reachable. She's human. She puts on her pants like we do. I mean, it's all right.
Yes.
Go ahead and reach for mentorship. Ask
Yeah.
Sylvia.
So
ask
now's the
Celeste.
time to say, VP Kamala Harris, can you please?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
whoever it is that you're interested or whatever it is that you're interested in doing, it is attainable. It's reachable.
Definitely, it is. I'm here to tell you, I'm living example. Totally. I have been introduced and been in some rooms at some tables I never thought was possible. You know what I mean? And it's just on a simple level. You know, I never knew that there were things like NCDW. I never knew. Right?
Wow.
I wish I had known about it when I was my daughter's age.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right?
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, it started when I was in. I'm not gonna say where I was when it started, because y'all think I'm a certain age, but that's none of your business. Yeah, but
And I was going to say, all that you're hearing today for the listeners out there, especially the women that are listening and saying, how can I get involved? You can just type in National Congress of Black Women because
Yes.
Kansas City chapter will come up.
Yes.
And, you know, one of the reasons that we're here in Kansas City, because the space that we've created wasn't there.
Hello.
And so since 2013 is when we started in Kansas City, I feel like since we helped to create that space, it just became more welcoming for other Black and brown organizations to continue to do the same. And the more the merrier, because I think all of our purpose here for those Black and brown leaders here in Kansas City is continue to create those spaces so that people who look like us or move in town because their job transfer them here, they have some connection, some space. They can feel that belongingness or that love or connection. And we still got a little ways to go in Kansas City, but we have made our mark.
I feel like we started something.
We've started.
Absolutely.
We've made our mark.
Absolutely.
I was on a panel with Mayor Quentin Lucas because I work in government. And I'm a executive leader in government, and that was what I studied in school. And when Janae said MPA, she meant Masters of Public Administration. And so she's on the verge of getting ready to graduate from with her Masters in Public Administration.
But God.
I have a Masters in Public Administration. And then another one, our editor, who's a board member and officer,
Sylvia.
Michaela
Celeste.
Wynn, she just graduated with her Master's of Public Administration
I'm
and
sure
wanting to
that.
lead in executive roles in government so that we can write those policies and support not just employees who work in government, but for the community.
Amen.
A lot of people don't know that. Yes, we want you to run for office, but we also want you to work. We want you to land executive leadership roles in government and in some of these influential positions.
To be a voice.
To be
There
a
you
voice
go, because you can.
in every pocket that you have, the community, school, work. Now you're starting to see black resource groups, black student unions.
Yes.
When I was at UMKC, we didn't have no black student union. We had like the Black and Cultural Heritage House or something,
Yep, that
which
was it.
we all,
Yep, that was
which
it.
all of us were kind of skeptical because we saw all kind of colors coming out of there, and so we was like, it's not all black, it's cultural. So we got that but there was not a black student union. I mean, there wasn't that. When I was at Central Missouri State, CMSU back in the day, they had collegiate black organizations on campus. But in the big city in Kansas City, we were kind of behind bringing black student unions. So it's a blessing to see that we've come a long ways. Still got a little more ways to go. But I was on a panel with Mayor Quentin Lucas, and he said that Kansas City is hurting because we're afraid to be diverse. We're afraid we're not we're not inclusive enough, and we're behind. We got work to do.
We got a lot of work to do.
And we
Still got work to do.
and we
Absolutely
have
right.
to find ways to keep black professionals in Kansas City. Not because what's happening,
our youth.
They become educated and they leave.
Wow.
Well, they're going off to college and
Yeah.
and going other ways. I can't
staying.
even believe the time has come.
But we have yes, I know it's time, I know, but it gets that's
So
yes.
we're gonna have to wrap this up. Obviously, we're gonna have to have them back, right? But I do want to end on this note. I am an advocate of many things, and one is of HBCUs,
Yes.
and that is 5 years of my life, 2 different HBCUs, 5 years of my life that I never experienced racism on campus. And so, if you have a senior, or if you have a high school student,
Yes.
or even a 5th grader, think HBCU.
Yes.
There is over 100 HBCUs in America. And what I have experienced is that they're for us and by us. My professors were my parents. They made sure I had something to eat. They made sure I had gas money. They took care of me. I wasn't a number. And so as we talk about education and black student unions, that wasn't my experience because I went there and was just in awe of 10,000 black students at Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, home of the Human Jukebox, okay? Yeah. But it was an amazing experience. So think HBCU, get your irons. I want to give a couple of quotes. Celeste, don't let what you've been through define you.
Yes.
Sylvia, she had a heart to serve and wasn't concerned about what she would get paid for it. Okay? Janae, lead by example. Lead by example. Jessica, Lynn Speaks Life, iron sharpens iron. For whatever you've suffered, survived, suffering and surviving right now, today, in this moment. You may not know what the purpose is right now, but there is purpose.
Definitely.
Thank you for tuning in to KUAW, Kansas City's global community radio station. You've been tuned in to Jessica Lynn Speaks Life. Be blessed.